Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. And today's topic was actually a recommendation from one of you in the comments, and it's such an important one that I knew I had to dedicate a full discourse to it. Money on the twin flame journey. If you have noticed that ever since meeting your divine masculine, your finances have been unstable, again, unstable. Your job feels unbearable, or opportunities collapse just when you thought things were secure. You're not imagining it. This is not coincidence, it's the field doing its work. Money is not separate from union. It's one of the clearest mirrors of what's really happening in your connection. When the union field destabilizes, money destabilizes. When we chase money, it feels exactly like chasing our DM. Exhausting, humiliating, and unsustainable. When we stop chasing and anchor into mission, money flows again. So, in this discourse, I'm going to break down why money struggles often show up alongside separation cycles, what the divine feminine's money initiation actually is, and how the divine masculine uses money as a substitute for worth or power, and most importantly, what it takes to stabilize your finances by stabilizing the union field first. Because here's the truth, your money story is not about money, it's about trust, surrender, and whether or not you're ready to hold the field without collapsing. So, money as survival energy. On the surface, money looks like numbers, paychecks, bills, and bank accounts. But at the energetic level, money is about survival. It represents the first chakra: food, shelter, security, and when the twin flame connection activates, it shakes the foundation. Why? Because the union field is designed to uproot everything built on fear or control. So if you have always worked jobs you hated just to get by, the connection will begin collapsing the structure. If your identity is tied to how much you earn, you may suddenly face blocks or losses that force you to look deeper. And if you've relied on financial safety to avoid emotional truth, the field may pull the rug out so you can no longer ignore your soul. This is why so many of you say, before meeting him, money flowed, and after meeting him, everything fell apart. You see, again, I'm talking about how unstable it becomes, right? So, really, it's connected to our energies. So, when we are stabilizing more in energies, the income will be stable. When we are not very much there, you will notice. So, that's not punishment, that's purification. So, money actually mirrors the union field. So, that's why, I think a couple of you guys actually suggested this topic, and very, very important one. I'd been wanting to do this again, you know, again, divine timing, right? The way money behaves in your life often mirrors what's happening in your union. Scarcity with money mirrors the fear of loss in union. Overworking or hustling mirrors the chasing energy towards our divine masculine. Feeling unsupported financially supports the wound of feeling emotionally unsupported by our divine masculine. So notice the pattern. Money doesn't lie. It will expose the same instability that's playing out between you and your beloved divine masculine. And the rules are the same. When we try to control or chase, it collapses. When we surrender, stabilize, and trust, it flows. So, at this stage, what is the divine feminine's money initiation? So most divine feminines go through most divine feminines we go through what I call the money initiation. It looks like feeling trapped in unfulfilling jobs, sudden financial losses after meeting the divine masculine, or even a situation where you're struggling to stabilize a job or career, or a total shift. You may have studied something, but you may be doing something else, or or you might even finally find yourself not generating any income. It could be some kind of intervention, or you might not be able to find an opportunity, or realizing no matter how hard you work, money won't stick. So this isn't random, it's because our soul is shifting us from external validation into internal alignment. So the field is forcing us to stop living for a paycheck and start living from mission, from soul. Because once we align with mission, truly offering what you're coded to offer, money flows as a byproduct, not the goal. So the initiation is brutal. We may lose the old financial scaffolding, but on the other side, we gain the ability to generate abundance through resonance, not through exhaustion. So, our beloved divine masculine and money. So, most divine masculines, you know, they may be like money is their identity, right? So, for the divine masculine, money plays a different role. Many divine masculines, many of our divine masculines cling to money as the identity. They equate financial success with worth. The stock market investing, like obsessive stock market investing, literally, like divine masculine saying that, they put their entire paycheck into the stocks and, live off the allowances that they get from work, like that. Some delay union because they think I'm not ready until I can provide. Some delay union thinking that what is going to happen to their finances. Other divine masculines use money as a shield, a way to control or distract themselves from their feelings. So literally, I've got divine masculines, telling their divine feminines like how, money is their identity, how they're like so obsessed with money, and like how their whole life money has been everything. But money can't protect our divine masculine from awakening, and in many cases his financial ups and downs mirror his internal turmoil. So that's why, he might be quitting his job all of a sudden. Suddenly he might have had a stable paycheck, and suddenly, he may think that, hey, he's going to win the world and this and that and blah 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 blah, because he's free, right? To only realize he can't, because running away from a responsibility and truly embracing freedom are two different things. So that's why I say our divine masculine's financial ups and downs mirror his internal turmoil. So the deeper truth is, union isn't about money, but money reveals where both, as divine feminines and our divine masculines still try to substitute worth, control, or security for trust and presence. So practical anchoring, how do you shift the money field? So what can you actually do about this? So here are four anchoring steps that I would suggest. Separate worth from money. Your soul's value isn't measured by income. Every financial block is trying to teach us this. Notice the mirror. Ask yourself, where does this financial situation reflect my union dynamic? If you're chasing clients or opportunities, or career opportunities, or if you're chasing this or that, or an education or this, or if you're like trying to apply for like a 1 million jobs, or something like this, if you're chasing opportunities, are you also chasing him? Often it goes hand in hand. The moment you surrender, the moment you just surrender and let go, the opportunities will come to you, the finances will stabilize, and so will our divine masculine. Number 3, anchor mission first. The question is not how do I make money, it's what am I here to offer. And when you root into mission, money follows. Number 4, stabilizing our nervous system. Most financial stress is actually nervous system dysregulation, often amplified because we are carrying our divine masculine stress too. So, grounding can really, really help. So, here's what I want you to remember. All right. Our financial instability, again, financial unpredictability are not proof that you're failing. They are proof that the field is working. Money is simply another mirror of union. When we try to control it, it slips through our fingers. When we anchor into trust, mission, and surrender, it flows, because money was never about money. It's about energy, right? It's about whether we are willing to hold the union field without collapsing. That's why union is not a miracle, it's a vibration. And when we understand how codes move, we stop chasing union, and you stop chasing money. We become the stabilizer, we become the flow, we become the union. So that's why, as we delve deeper into this discourse, you know I want to talk about the karmic family patterns around money that you both inherit, the ancestral scarcity contracts that many twin flames are here to break, and how collective money grids, the financial systems of this world, get disrupted through our union. Fun thing, right? Because when we shift our money frequency, we are not just healing ourselves, we are reprogramming an entire karmic lineage. So, what is this family karma around money? Every twin flame comes into this world with inherited money patterns. Maybe your parents fought about money constantly. Maybe you grew up in scarcity where money was always tight. Or maybe money was abundant in your family but used as control or manipulation. Whatever the pattern, your soul chose it. Why? Because our twin flame union requires that we break it. Money wounds are family wounds, and especially for us divine feminines, we are usually the one, we are the ones who begin clearing them. So notice, if your divine masculine grew up in a family where his worth was tied to providing, he will resist union until he feels worthy. If you grew up in scarcity, your nervous system may still panic whenever money dips, even when you are safe. These aren't financial issues. These are karmic programs that both you and your beloved divine masculine have agreed to dismantle. So, ancestral scarcity contracts. So, beyond our immediate family, there are also ancestral contracts around money. These show up as generational poverty cycles, work until you collapse mentalities, guilt or shame for having money when others don't. Many of us divine feminines may feel these deeply, almost as if we are betraying our lineage if we allow abundance, right? But here's the truth: our abundance doesn't dishonor our ancestors, it heals them. Because every ancestor who worked, struggled, and sacrificed was secretly praying that one day someone in the line would break the cycle, and that someone is you, and often is also our beloved divine masculine. So now let's zoom out. The collective financial grids, right? So money isn't just personal or family or ancestral, right? We live in a global system built on fear, debt, and control. So, as twin flames, we disrupt this. Why? Because union can't be controlled by the system. And so, money often collapses in our life until we stop playing by the system's rules. So, if you have noticed sudden job losses, career redirections, or financial blocks that force you into mission, that's the greed destabilizing. If our divine masculine clings to the system, he will feel crushed until he realizes that survival through control doesn't work anymore. Really, right? So, as twin flames, we are here to rewrite abundance from exploitation to co creation, from fear to trust, from control to flow. So, what does it mean for us? Number one, audit our family money story, money history. Where did our parents fight, fear, or idolize money, or use money as control? Number two, break ancestral contracts. You literally say, I release the control of scarcity. I choose abundance in honor of my lineage. Number three, detach from the system's fear. Stop believing you must grind, prove, or sacrifice to deserve stability. Number 4, anchor abundance practices. So this is not about manifestation or affirmations. It's about stabilizing our nervous system so our body feels comfortable and safe to receive. So that's why part 2 reminds us money is never just about us. It's about our family lineage, our ancestral lineage, and the collective grids our union came here to dismantle. So that's why financial struggle feels so intense on this part, because we are not just holding our own bank account, we are holding centuries of programming. But here's the good news: when we shift, the whole field shifts. So union is not a miracle. Like, I'll repeat this again and again, it's a vibration. And when we stop collapsing into fear, we stabilize union, we stabilize our abundance, because money and union are two sides of the same field, both teaching us trust, both teaching us surrender, both teaching us how to stop chasing and start becoming. So as we continue to delve deeper, in part 3 we are going to talk about what happens on the other side when we are going through the breakdowns, when the scarcity contracts have started to dissolve, and when our union begins to stabilize. This is where money begins to align with mission, where finances stop being chaotic survival triggers and start flowing as natural byproduct of sacred service. So on the twin flame journey, mission is not optional. It's the third energy in action. It's the shared soul blueprint expressing itself through service. And here's the shift: in the old paradigm, we worked for money because of the limitations, right? But in the twin flame paradigm, we serve for alignment, and money flows as a recognition of that frequency, right? So I want you to pay attention to this very, very carefully, because mission becomes the stabilizer. It's not about chasing opportunities or forcing outcomes. It's about embodying our blueprint so strongly that the right opportunities, the right people and resources gravitate towards us. So abundance as frequency, not figures. Many divine feminines make the mistake of thinking, when I'm abundant, the union will be easier. No, but abundance is not a figure in our account. It's a frequency state. Literally, you may show your bank account to your DM or show him hey, you have made. He's not going to come because of that, because it's not the money, it's the frequency state. Sometimes I'll have clients saying that, if only they were richer, if only they were this, if only they were that. The truth is, you can be anything, and if the DM is not ready, you see, it's never really, what the DM wants to see in us, but rather what he's going through, and also changing the mindset that we don't have to do this so that he will accept us, do that so you may be literally the most popular, you might be like a billionaire, and your divine masculine may still reject you if the frequency is not in alignment. Because abundance is not a figure in our account, it's a frequency state. If we are in fear, no number will ever feel enough, because money itself is infinite, right? There's no end to the number. So if you're in alignment, even small amounts can carry overflow, because you know how to channel them with trust. So that's why in the twin flame journey, the twin flame field teaches us this brutally. We are forced to find safety not in numbers but in resonance. Once you do, the numbers start reflecting that shift. So what is our beloved divine masculine's role in mission abundance? So for our beloved divine masculine, this is the stage where money stops being about control and starts being about contribution. In separation, he may have used money to prove his worth. Literally, chasing high careers, trying to, live in an address where, try to live right in the middle of the city, in a popular neighborhood, in a bubble, trying to have a job that's about prestige, trying to make connections, trying to party, trying to do this, trying to do that. That's why I'm saying he may have used money to prove worth. But in union, our divine masculine will begin to see money as a tool for building, providing, and amplifying mission. So this doesn't mean he suddenly saves the divine feminine financially. It means the field equalizes, because our divine masculine's energy shifts from accumulation to aligned creation. So this is when union abundance becomes sustainable, not because one partner carries it, but because both are contributing from resonance. So, what is the practical anchoring for abundance stability? So, how do you stabilize at this stage? Number one, clarify mission. Ask, what is my union here to create or contribute? Money stabilizes when mission is clear. Release performances. Stop treating mission like another hustle. Service is not about grinding, it's about coherence. Number three, equalize energy. Because both, as divine feminines and our divine masculines, both twin flames must align. Example, as the divine feminine, if we are overgiving while our divine masculine withholds, the money field will wobble again. And, you know, finally, the overflow. Abundance multiplies when we circulate it. So invest in what expands your mission, not what numbs your fear. So, what is the shift after union? Here's what many don't talk about. After union stabilizes, money challenges don't disappear completely, but they transform. Instead of being triggers of survival, we become opportunities. What I'm saying is, instead of, the triggers of survival, these triggers become opportunities to expand capacity. A financial dip no longer collapses us. An unexpected bill no longer feels like punishment. Instead, we recognize the field is stretching our trust, not punishing our worth. This is why abundance after union is less about wealth in the 3D sense and more about freedom, flow, and resilience. So that's why, in this part, we talked about the key takeaways. Money stabilizes when mission stabilizes. Our abundance is not waiting for a paycheck or a bank balance, it's waiting for us to embody the frequency of service our soul came here for. So, union is not a miracle, it's a vibration. I know I keep saying this, but it is what it is, right? When we embody that vibration, money, mission, and union all align into one field, not because we chased them, but because we became them. So, now we are going to zoom out even further in the fourth part of our discourse, to the collective grids of money. Because if you think your financial struggles are just about your life or your union, you're missing the bigger picture. Twin flame unions are abundance anchors. We are not just balancing our account, we are rewiring the wealth grids of the entire planet. So why the system collapses when union activates? So let's be honest. Our financial system was never built on love. It was built on control, debt, and exploitation. So when as twin flames we activate, the system often collapses around them, right? Jobs suddenly end, incomes fluctuate wildly, security structures dissolve, not because we did something wrong, but because our frequency no longer matches the grid we were plugged into. This is why so many of us divine feminines would say, so many divine feminines would say, the moment he entered my life, everything I thought was stable collapsed. Yes, because union destabilizes false security. Excuse me, guys. So the system is designed to keep us dependent. Union is designed to make us sovereign. So here's what most don't see. Union as an abundance anchor. You see, our union becomes a new grid point in the planetary wealth matrix. We stop feeding scarcity systems. Excuse me. We stop circulating abundance through. We begin circulating abundance through resonance because we stop feeding scarcity systems. Our choices, where we invest, what we build, how we serve, ripple into collective greats. So, in other words, every healed monadic twin flame pair becomes an abundance anchor. Our union radiates coherence that literally rewires how abundance flow in our community, in our lineage, and beyond. So, what is the masculine and feminine balance in wealth grids? On a planetary level, wealth grids are distorted because masculine and feminine are out of balance, right? Masculines and feminines are out of balance. The distorted masculine hoards, controls, and extracts. The wounded feminine collapses into lack, dependency, or shame. Union rewrites this. The healed, empowered divine masculine builds, protects, and provides without domination, and the empowered, healed divine feminine receives, circulates, and multiplies without collapse. So, together, we stabilize a new template of shared abundance, and this template radiates outward into the collective, whether we are aware of it or not. So, how do we embody this consciously? Number one, stop feeding into fear based systems. Notice where you're still working, buying, or living from fear. Number two, circulate your abundance. Even small acts, giving, sharing, reinvesting, shift collective grades. Number three, anchor balance in your union. If one overgives, the other hoards. The hoarding, right? Hoards. The field destabilizes, right? Equalize giving and receiving. Number four, live transparency. Live with transparency. Scarcity hides, abundance shines. Be open about flow. It dismantles shame and secrecy. Right, so why does this matter globally? Money is one of the deepest templates of control on earth, right? Make no mistake, the twin flame path is not just about love and romance, it's about planetary templates, because money is one of the deepest templates of control on earth. And as twin flames, we are here to rewrite it every time we stabilize our own abundance field. Every time we are loosening the grip of fear based wealth systems on humanity, every time our union moves from survival into service, we radiate a new model of prosperity. And every time we refuse to collapse into scarcity, we strengthen the collective abundance grid. This is why our journey has felt so financially intense. You're not just living your story, you're living a blueprint for this planet. So that's why, the last part of a discourse, this was never about your bills, your job, or your bank balance. It was about our role as a global grid worker for abundance. That's why, when we embody that vibration, we stop just surviving inside the system. We become the frequency that rewrites it. So, twin flame money isn't about us having enough, it's about the world finally remembering what true abundance feels like. All right. So, with that, I hope you've enjoyed this discourse. And if you guys want to work one on one with me, you can book for a session through the link in the description. All my sessions are one on one, live via Zoom. So, you can ask me all the questions you want, that you need clarity from, you know, and I'll be able to guide you, through my wisdom, through access to the Akashic records and multidimensional channeling and beyond. And I've also also in the midst of introducing some amazing, amazing, amazing healing. So do check out my website and soul realignment. I highly, highly recommend. I recommend some of the newer healings I've introduced as well. Again, go with what your soul calls out to you always. All right, with that, I'll see you all again for another discourse, and take care and talk to you soon again. Actually, I was thinking there's one more point I wanted to make before, and I just remembered. All right. So, again, I just wanted to touch very quickly on this part and then I will wrap up. That's why I paused for a moment. All right. So, we had gone from like personal survival patterns to ancestral scarcity contracts to the collective global grids. And now we look at the horizon. What happens when twin flame unions begin to model entirely new economics? Because union doesn't just free us from survival, it frees humanity from survival. So, as twin flames are the blueprint holders of post money reality. So that's why money dissolves in higher union fields. As twin flames, when we stabilize in union, something fascinating happens. Money stops being central. We may notice abundance shows up without force. Gifts, synchronicities, opportunities, exchanges start to happen energetically. People feel called to give without us asking, right? The sense of earning dissolves, replaced by resonating, right? This is because union vibrates beyond survival, and survival is the root of money, right? Once you transcend survival frequency, money becomes irrelevant as a measure of worth. So that's what New Earth economics is about. As twin flames, we are here to demonstrate what I call soul exchange. This is the economy of New Earth. It's not based on numbers, but on resonance. We give what we are coded to give, we receive what supports our mission. Energy flows through service, not through coercion, right? So, on a practical level, this can look like gift economies, contribution based offerings, communities pooling resources, and people supporting one another because the resonance itself compels it. So, as twin flames, we model this first on a micro level, right? Our union field circulates abundance in a way that mirrors how the collective will eventually operate. So that's why beyond scarcity, look at abundance as a natural state. Scarcity isn't real, it's programmed. The earth has enough, the universe has enough. What's been distorted is the flow. We've learned about it in like geography in school, the whole disparities, and always for star seeds like us, it's huge. Like how, when there's so much resources, why isn't it like distributed equally, right? So as twin flames, our unions prove this by embodying overflow even when our accounts are small, because our nervous system no longer collapse into fear. We hold the vibration of enoughness. That vibration spreads because it inspires others that abundance isn't earned, it's remembered. So that's why, how can you live this now even if you're still paying bills, right? So shift from transaction to resonance. Stop asking what will I get, start asking what do I resonate to give. Practice overflow. Even a small gift or offering teaches our body abundance. Anchor mission based exchange. Offer services or creations aligned with our soul, not just what pays. Notice synchronicities. Track how abundance already shows up outside of money. Invitations, gifts, divine timing, service. So, very quickly, right, I want to wrap this up because past 33 minutes already. So the vision of twin flame economics, right, the bigger vision is this: as more twin flames stabilize and more microeconomics of love, service, and resonance will emerge. And this will replace fear based economics of debt and control. Our union doesn't just heal our finances, it models a new kind of world where abundance is shared, not, not just hoarded in the middle. One day, money itself will dissolve because humanity will remember how to circulate energy without fear. And as twin flames, we are the prototypes of the future. So that's why, in this final part of our discourse, financial struggles were never just about bills, jobs, or numbers. They were initiations to the future. Union, again, Union is all about stability, right? Union is all about stabilizing the energy so that abundance flows. So when we embody that vibration, we don't just fix our money, we become a living portal for new earth abundance. Our union is not here to fit into the system. It's here to prove the system obsolete. So thank you for being here. So thank you for listening to the final part. Again, like I promised, I wrapped it up really quickly because I really wanted to touch on this part, because when you go from survival energy to family karma, from ancestral contracts to mission, from global grids to the vision of new earth economics, and if there's one truth that I want you to take with you, it's this: our financial journey has never been separate from our union journey. Every collapse, every scarcity cycle, every shift has been the field recalibrating us for trust, mission, and abundance at a much higher frequency, because union isn't just love. It's how we learn to hold energy without collapsing, and money is one of the clearest mirrors of the test. That's why when you embody that vibration, you don't chase union, you don't chase money, you become the field where both stabilize. That's why, guys, if you're ready to go deeper, again, you can book the first time Twin Flame Psyche guidance session or the Ask Me Anything You Want session, where I'll look directly into your union field and give you clarity on money, mission, and connection shifts that's happening right now. All right, so you can book via the link in the description provided. You can go directly to my website. All of my sessions are live, conducted via video call by me, one on one. I know I keep repeating this because this is the enquiries I keep getting. So that my sessions are live, one on one, conducted via Zoom, so you can ask me all the questions you need to ask. All right, with that, I hope you've enjoyed this discourse. I know nowadays my discourses are long, but again, I have my seasons, right? When I'm inspired, I create more. So lately, I've been creating back to back discourses and trying to like post every day to maintain the consistency. Again, when I'm inspired, I create, right? So with that, keep the topic suggestions coming in, and I'll get to them one by one. And with that, I've also, in the midst of introducing a lot of new healings and activations. Do check them out. Again, I've noticed, some of you, booking some of my older healings as well. Like always, go with your soul. If you are feeling guided by a certain healing or activation, go with it. Highly recommend the soul realignment as well. With that, I will see you all again for another discourse. Love you all. Take care and bye-bye.